So you want to have a character that's affected by gravity, jumps around, and can land on things. Well, this tutorial is going to show you how to do that. So I have a very simple sample project right now. I have 3 actors: player, this is the player, floor, and this is the floor, and then I have the ledge actor, and I've brought 2 instances of the ledge actor out. So in order to jump in a game, you need to have gravity in your game that's going to pull the actor back down towards the bottom of the scene. That's usually where you want to go, although technically you could do it in any direction. So let's go ahead and do my player actor. Notice I don't have anything in here yet, but I'm going to go ahead and add the behavior of accelerate, which will be in the green group. And I'm going to have it accelerate down. So that value is 270 at a rate of 100. Again, you will have to play around with these values to get it to work the way you want for your game. I'm going to go ahead and do 300 here. 300 is not necessarily the right answer. So now if I preview the game, notice that the actor moves down, but unfortunately at this point he falls right through the floor. So the first thing you need to do to have jumping and gravity is to add gravity. That's what this accelerate is for. But then you need a place for your actor to land so that the actor doesn't leave the scene. And so because I have not coded the actor to collide with the floor, that's going to be a bit of a problem. So I'm going to bring out a collide now, put it right in this actor, and I'm going to collide with the floor. Now, you should already know what's going to happen based on when we did Monster Maze. You should notice that the floor is going to now tilt away. So we'll fix that in just a second. Let's go ahead, though, and add another collide here, because we also are going to collide with the ledge. So we want the player to be able to land on the ledge. So let's go to the floor actor. Let's go down in the inspector and go to physics. And we're going to uncheck movable, so the floor can't move. We're going to do the same thing to the ledge. We're going to go to physics. We're going to uncheck movable. We're going to do one more thing now, because in your game you might have a bunch of things that the character can land on. And you'll notice in the player here that I had to do 2 collides right here, the floor and the ledge. Let's just make sure it's working correctly, I guess. So it's with the floor. Now I can't move yet, so I can't collide with the ledge, but let me just go ahead and temporarily bring the actor so it's above the ledge, and now preview, and now it's landing on the ledge. Notice it's bouncing, so we're going to fix that here in just a second. All right, but as I mentioned, in the actor tab, I have these collides. Well, if you have like 10 different things in your game that the actor can collide with and land on, it's kind of annoying to have all these collides here. So let's simplify it. Let's go to the floor actor, and there's a place called tags, and I'm just going to call this collidable. So you can collide with this actor, and I'm going to hit the little, it looks like a little paper airplane, and so now you notice it has this collidable tag. I'm going to do the same thing in ledge. I'm going to go to tags, and I'm going to put in collidable. Very important that you spell correctly. It has to be completely identical in order for this to work. I'm going to go back to the player now. I'm going to delete one of my collides, and instead of actor of type floor, I'm going to choose actor with tag, and I'm going to put the tag in. I can hit the down arrow and choose collidable. So now any actor that I put the tag collidable on, this main character will collide with it. All right, let's fix the floor and the ledge being movable. I think we did that already, actually. Okay, so we're good with that. Oh, let's turn the bounciness down. That's what I wanted to do. Let's turn the bounciness of the floor down. Let's do the same thing with the ledge. And let's do the same thing with our player. Now, the player needs to be movable. Don't uncheck that. I am going to check fixed rotation so the player doesn't spin during the game if that's what I wanted to do. If you wanted it to spin, you can just leave it. That's completely up to you. All right, so at the moment now we have the game working correctly in that our actor will land and will not fall through, and the collidable objects don't move. But let's code in some movement now for our character, and then the jump here eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and add a rule, and I'm going to say if keyboard key, I'm going to do the right arrow, is pressed, then, now when we did Monster Maze, we used the code move, and we just did move right, or move at 0 to go right. In order for the jump to work correctly, we can't use the move condition because, or the move behavior, because that would overtake gravity, and the character would just move all the way across the screen. So here, I'll actually show you that right now. So if I bring move out here, and I'll just say move right. So now watch if let me go to my scene and actually put my character though. I'll put it up here so I have a second to do this. All right, so watch now. So if I preview the game and I'm hitting the right key, notice I'm not falling because of gravity anymore. So when you're moving, it's going to ignore gravity. It like overtakes it. So we want our player, when they're moving, to be falling as they would in real life. So let's go back to our player actor. And we're not going to do move. We're going to do a change attribute. So we're going to go to behaviors and change attribute in the red group. And we are going to change self motion linear velocity x. So x is left to right, the horizontal one, and I'm just going to change it to 300 for now. And then let's look what that looks like when we preview. So now notice when I move right, I'm going to continue to fall. So see how I fall there? I'm stuck there between those two. That would be something I would adjust in the game. But now, by pressing the right arrow, I don't just travel all the way across the screen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call this move right. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to minimize it, make sure it's not selected. I'm going to paste. So I've copied this move right rule, so I'm just going to change this to move left. Now it's going to be the left arrow. And then I'm going to change self.motion linear x now to negative 300. So positive 300 moves right, negative 300 moves left. So if I preview this now, I should be able to move right, left, but still fall. All right, so that's good. Don't worry about him flying off the screen. We'll fix that later. So now what we need to do is code our jump behavior. So I'm going to bring out another rule. I'm going to call this jump. And I'm going to do keyboard key. I'll do space. We're not going to do move. We're going to do a change attribute. This time we're going to do it on the y-axis. So it's going to be self motion linear velocity y. And up is positive. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to put in a number, but you don't need to keep it this number. You're going to have to play around with it to see what looks right for your game. So I'm going to go ahead and do 300 for this and see what that looks like. I'm not sure I'm going to like that. So I'm going to preview, and then there is going to be an issue that I'm going to show you here. So I can move left to right. Now I jump. Now the problem is if I keep hitting the space bar, I keep jumping. And so what you usually want is you have to be on the ground in order for a character to jump. So we're going to add a condition here. So it's if I press the space bar and something else is true, and that's that I am touching a collidable object. So I'm going to click in this little text box. I'm going to press the down arrow. I'm going to do an attribute comparison. I believe that's what I want. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to do an event. And the actor overlaps or collides with actor with tag collidable. So this means I have to press the spacebar and be touching a collidable object. Remember, we made the floor and the ledge collidable. So now let me hit play here. So now I'm touching one of these. I'm going to press the spacebar and I can jump, and I'll eventually come back down. Okay, now if I'm on the ledge, I can press it again. So I'm spamming it now and nothing is happening. So I don't love the movement right now, so you would play around with those values of the speeds that you were doing. But let's fix the issue of flying off the screen right now. So let's go back to our move right rule, and we're going to expand the else area right here. So basically what we want is we want the actor to slow down and stop moving instead of sliding off the screen. So that is called interpolate. So that is in the green group. We're putting it in the else column. Be very careful to pay attention to what you're doing. So what we want is the self motion linear velocity x to go to a final value of 0, meaning not moving, over a duration of 1 second. That's probably a little too long. So I'm going to do like 0.2 seconds. So it'll slide a little bit and then stop. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to my move left rule, go to else, click in the else area, and then paste. It can be the exact same rule because basically we're just trying to slow down on the x-axis, whether it's moving right or left. Let's see what that looks like now. So now if I jump and move, and I stop moving, see how it slows down and stops. You can even set the 0.2 to 0 if you wanted to get it to not move at all. Okay, now obviously what I would play around with in my scene here is that my character's not really jumping high enough to get onto these ledges. So I would be playing around with all of these values about the linear velocity. Like I have it set to 300. Maybe I turn it up, maybe I turn it down. But what's happening here is my character moves right and left while still being affected by gravity, doesn't fall through the scene, and the things that it lands on don't go flying off the scene. All right, so that's how you create gravity, jump, and move. Enjoy.